You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's Hell's Kitchen After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Hell's Kitchen After Show.
Oh, yeah.
Listen to him.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Lem and I just escaped with our lives out of Hell's Kitchen.
We did. We did.
Welcome to the #1 Hell's Kitchen After Show. Thank
Yes.
you so much. I'm your host, Leo Quinones, and we are getting ready with our man here, Lem Gonsalves.
What's up, everybody?
Here we are.
Here we are.
Season 12.
Yes.
18 chefs compete.
Yes.
And it's absolutely fantastic. So we're going to bring it right to you, to the fans. And I couldn't think of no better way than getting an exclusive interview with Gordon's #1. I would have to say he's co-#1 because,
Right.
you know, I know for a fact that Lem has a crush on Chef Andy, the sous chef.
I do.
Okay.
I admit. Yes. Yes.
Who doesn't?
Right.
Okay, and then another one of Gordon's #1 is a Chef James Avery. I know we're going to be getting him on the show in just a few minutes. As a matter of fact, I have him ringing Steve on my phone right now. So, producer Steve, maybe he's calling in, but we will get this worked out. Here it is right there. There you go. So let's talk about this.
do
18
it.
chefs compete, buddy.
Yes.
Okay, there's a lot to talk about. Let's go to the Farmer John Challenge.
Yes.
It started out, it went a different way, don't you think?
It did. It did. I was talking about it with you, and I said it seems like he does like a challenge with pigs every single season, but he did a twist on it. You know, he woke them up with the pigs, and then all of a sudden they go out and they're not even having anything to do with pigs.
Were you thinking worst case scenario like me, Lem?
I was.
I saw a row of little piglets,
Yes. Yes.
you know,
Yes.
like the, I don't know.
Yes.
It's just, you know, Gordon is all about saying this is where your food comes from.
Right.
Catch
Right.
it, kill it,
Right.
eat it. So
Right.
I was like preparing for the worst.
Yeah.
But it turned into something of the unsung hero, the potato.
Yeah, the potato.
Yeah.
It's so random.
What's your favorite potato, Lem?
My favorite potato?
How do you like it served?
Oh, I see what you're saying. I have to say I love French fries. I love French fries. French fries is where it's at. Fried potatoes, all day, every day. I like baked potatoes. I like mashed potatoes, stuffed mashed potatoes with the bacon. But I'll have to go with French fries. French fries is my favorite way.
And if you're not from Southern California, 1 hour before the show, I was at In-N-Out Burger.
Were you?
Getting those
Oh,
majestic
and
French
they're like
fries.
cut fresh every day. It's great.
French fries of the gods. Okay,
Yes.
so let's talk about what happened in that challenge. I mean,
Okay.
what happened was I thought the men won easy, hands down.
Yeah.
And then Gordon brings it to a part 2 scenario. And let's talk about that, where they had to make 9 separate potato dishes, and they had 4 minutes to do so.
Right.
So Gordon tasted 5 of each.
Right.
And it looked like the women actually won.
Yes,
So
they did.
We have Chef James Avery on the line.
right.
This is pretty cool.
This is cool.
All right. Well, a guy who oversees all the challenge, a guy who's in the trough with the chefs, is now gracing our Hell's Kitchen after show. And again, thank you for watching. You know, all over the world, we appreciate it. Sous Chef and international chef and Gordon's guy on Hell's Kitchen, Chef James Avery. Are you there, all the way from New Jersey, my friend?
I am. I'm here. How you guys doing?
Great. Say
Great,
hi.
man.
Say hi to Lem Gonsalves.
Hi, Lem. What's going on?
What's up, man? Good to see you. Good to hear from you. Good to hear from you.
Same here, guys.
Well, we know it's late in the East Coast, so I'm really happy that you stayed up. How do you think the first season of this season of Hell's Kitchen is going so far, James?
Yeah, you know, so far so good. You know, it's always tough in the beginning, but they're hanging in there. You know.
When did you first cross paths with Chef Gordon Ramsay?
About, let's see, it was 3 years in November. They were filming another TV show, Kitchen Nightmares. And I used to work with Chef Andy. She was my boss years ago. And they were working on a restaurant up in Carlstadt, and they had contacted me to come consult, and that's what I did, and that's where the relationship was made.
We're talking about kitchen nightmares here. So Gordon spares no expense to help a restaurant in distress. Do you remember the name of the restaurant? Is it still around?
It was Grasshopper also. They actually just sold it in this past year. I stayed in contact with them for the whole time, but the owners were ready to kind of get out of the business. Mm-hmm. They sold it, and the new owners are, they're running it, and it's pretty strong. I don't know if they kept the name or if they changed it, but the ownership changed hands.
So what's it like being in Hell's Kitchen? You have to tell us, because we're dying to know.
We got to know.
Well, yeah, it's definitely, there's nothing like it, so it's hard to even compare it to anything. You kind of have to do it, but, I jumped on the train while it was moving down the tracks. I came on in the 10th season, obviously. Mm-hmm. So it was, a really quick learning experience for me. It's like any other restaurant. It's new. It's a new environment, new people. For me, it was on the other side of the country, but it's quite a pressure cooker in there. A lot of personalities, learning new things, all that good stuff.
Can imagine. Chef Avery, I'm just curious. Obviously, like you said, you came on in the 10th season. How long have you actually been in the business, being a chef and doing kind of those kind of things?
Let's see. I just turned 33. I started when I was 16, so
wow.
A little over around 15 years.
Wow.
A pizza delivery boy, was that you?
Yeah. That's how I got started. I got hired as a delivery boy before I had my license. So.
Does a certain home delivery, pizza delivery come to mind? A strange occurrence on that gig, James?
Strange, something that happened?
Yeah,
Like a weird...
Yeah, I was a pizza boy. There's some weird things.
Nothing too weird. Definitely you deliver some food to some hermits, people that really don't come outside. They're kind of shut in. That's probably the weirdest thing. A bunch of cat people, but nothing too crazy.
Wow.
All right. Well, one thing that you see on Hell's Kitchen is you're all tatted up. Can you talk about the sleeves and what do they? A few of them represent, because I know it's striking when you see it on TV.
That's funny. Yeah, my tattoos, they don't have too big of a meaning. I started getting them when I was young. I was like 18 when I got my first tattoo. Mm-hmm. And just kind of collected them over the years. I really only have one on my body that, is even food-driven. It's a skull and crossbone with a wooden spoon and a knife, and the skull's got the chef hat. But
dope.
The other ones are just kind of little pieces from here and there, buddies that were tattoo artists that did it. I got my kids' names on me, my wife's name.
Nice.
So,
nice.
Basic stuff.
You know what? Let's go back to the beginning of Hell's Kitchen. If you look at season 12 and you look at the opening credits, Gordon is reading a graphic novel in the opening credits, and then it says The Knife Case of Destiny. And you were in it, and it finishes with you and Chef Andy. How would you explain the opening credits of season 12?
My interpretation of it is, and again, this is mine, it's that, that they all obviously, the knife kit probably means whoever's leaving with that is, the winner, and they all kind of want it. And, obviously, Chef Ramsay's the big guy looking down on it all, and I guess you could look at it like you got to get through maybe Andy and I, or, we're like he's the keeper of the gate, but at the end of the day, we're kind of his soldiers, working with the guys and helping him out and getting involved in that sense. So, that's my interpretation of it. They're all trying to steal it, and we're sitting there guarding it, making sure that it's, not going anywhere.
That's awesome. I'm just curious. Obviously, you said you've been doing this since you were 16, correct?
Yeah.
What when you're not taping Hell's Kitchen? What are you a chef, a head chef at a restaurant? Do you just kind of lay back and then do Nurji Sun? Like, what goes on when you're not taping?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I did this I started a year and a half ago. Mm-hmm. So I was actually finishing up working with a restaurant group out of New York when I went on and did season 11. When I got back, I took some time off. I just recently had 2 young children. Well, my wife had 2 young children.
Oh, okay.
And I've been helping her with that. And then I was a corporate chef consultant for a local restaurant group around here. And then I left to go do season 12. And now I'm back kind of doing my own thing, doing some consulting work, doing some cooking classes at a culinary studio in my area, just kind of getting involved with the community, doing some outreach to local preschool, stuff like that, cooking with kids.
Yeah, the heirloom kitchen, right?
Yeah, Heirloom Kitchen in Old Bridge.
Well, listen to this. We're all over the country here with our Hell's Kitchen After Show, and Wednesday, April 23rd, you're going to be cooking an amazing, unique, one-of-a-kind class. You're going to prep everyone for Cinco de Mayo, and tell us about the incredible food you're going to be preparing there at Heirloom Kitchen on April 23rd.
Yeah, I mean, I have a love affair with Mexican food. It was kind of, one of the first cuisines I really dove into and really made it my own. So I'm really excited to be teaching, just the basic stuff, like how to make tortillas from scratch, doing some, basic carne asada, basic meat preparations, making all the crazy salsas from scratch, habanero salsa, roasted tomatilla salsa, chipotle salsa. I'm going to go through the whole slew of ingredients and, basic techniques of Mexican food. So it's going to be off the cuff a little bit. I'm just going to buy a bunch of stuff and just kind of go with the flow of how the skill level of the people in the class. That's the one thing about the Heirloom Kitchen is, it's a really personal experience. So, it's really open, a really cool platform for chefs and people to come in and learn.
Right on. Well, we'll talk about that in a few more minutes, but let's get back to Hell's Kitchen. James, have you ever had Gordon Ramsay yell at you like he yells at the cadets and candidates inside Hell's Kitchen?
Of course. He's my boss at the end of the day, and obviously I do my best to avoid those things, avoid those lashings, but, they come. If you make a mistake, he lets you know. You know in certain terms. You got to play at his level when you're working for him.
What advice would you give Season 12 contestants and any contestants who ever are thinking about making the leap into Hell's Kitchen?
It's at the end of the day, you're just cooking. Do what you've done. I think a lot of people let their nerves get the best of them, and you just have to stay calm, stay composed. If you're there, you obviously have some skill, some knowledge how to cook. Keep a good attitude, and when he's getting on you, or when I'm getting on you, or Chef Andy's getting on you, just stay with it. Don't give up. Just keep pushing.
What's the cardinal rule you should never do in Hell's Kitchen?
Give up. Give up and basically put your knife down.
Wow.
That's the worst thing you can do in my opinion, is just flat out quit and just walk away from it, because it's such a great opportunity.
So what is it? What do you think? Is it like would you say it's like a culinary fine dining boot camp? Getting in there, because it seems like a lot of the contestants have never been at that level ever in their lives.
Yeah, it's definitely a boot camp. You have all walks of life come in there: culinary students, caterers, personal chefs, executive chefs. But at the end of the day, what is common is that it's new for everybody. It's a completely new style. I had to learn once I got to Hell's Kitchen how Chef Expedited, how he every chef does things differently. So it is a boot camp. You have to learn. You have to learn quickly. You don't have a lot of time to work with the contestants. They have to kind of have a basic knowledge, and the ones who want to get it, and the ones who can't don't.
Okay, so this is a burning question, and I'm sure it's not just mine, but it's for a lot of our fans. My co-host Leo was talking about Chef Andy, and she's a very attractive woman, and I'm just curious,
this is Lem talking.
Yeah. I'm just curious, is she that good looking in person? I'm just saying, because ever since she's been on the show, I've been more of a fan. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know Andy well. She's beautiful inside and out.
Awesome.
So she's a very attractive girl.
Okay.
She's a good friend of mine. She's almost like a sister. So.
Word. So does that mean she's single? I'm just.
She's not married, but she is off the market.
Oh, okay.
You'll have to ask her yourself.
Okay. Well, I will.
All right, Chef. So at Hell's Kitchen, how long does it take to film a season?
About a month.
About a month?
About 5-6 weeks.
So does that mean that you have to be on? Tell us about what's your schedule like when Hell's Kitchen is in production.
Well, it's just like any restaurant. We have to get there. Chef Andy and I, we meet with Chef Gordon. We come up with menus. We come up with tastings. We have to develop training packets, material, all that thing. So it's not we just show up and all that stuff's ready. So I'm out there, a few weeks prior to the cast getting there. We set up shop. And then, they come out, and it's about 5-6 weeks. We do about an episode a day. And it really depends, on the day. If it's, how, if there's a dinner service that evening, or, how big of the challenge is, or, really my schedule rotates. But it's pretty packed. There's not a lot of downtime.
When Gordon is prime Gordon, and it's a grenade splattering everywhere, but not necessarily at you. What goes through your mind?
You know, I guess nothing really. I'm so used to it. You know, I respond well to that kind of temperament. You know, a lot of the chefs I worked for are from the old school, so I respond well to it. So when he's kind of coming off the handle kind of at some people, it doesn't really affect me. You know, it's just keep grinding. Kind of goes back to what I said earlier. Just, you know, you can't let it get to you.
How do you handle 70, 80 cameras on you every moment that you're in there? Are you cognizant of it every single day?
Not now. It's just kind of like they don't even exist. You know, it's the first, you know, maybe once I first started doing it, it was a little awkward. It wasn't as natural, you know. But before you know, you just kind of forget they're there, and it's just business as usual. You're just cooking in the kitchen. That's all it is.
Question. So, you know, you mentioned about this being an awesome opportunity for any chef, and you know, would never give up, things of that nature. Would you, as a chef yourself, would you be ever a contestant? Like, would you have gone through the process if you had the opportunity? Obviously, you know, you do this, and you're a consultant on the air. But would you take that opportunity to be on Hell's Kitchen yourself, knowing what it's like?
Yeah, I would. And I remember about 5-6 years ago telling myself, like, I'm gonna try out. I'm gonna be on Hell's Kitchen. I'm gonna do it. And it's just kind of funny how, you know, things unfolded for me.
Right.
You know? I guess I should have been more specific with my goal, but it worked out either way.
Right.
Well, how has Gordon Ramsay upped your game, James?
He's just such a successful person, so intense. Like, everything he does, he just does to the nth degree. So just, you know, kind of being around him, you're hoping that that's going to rub off on you, and for the most part, it does. You know, when you see that kind of personality and what it takes, that, you know, that driving force that, you know, makes him get up and just crush it every day. It definitely has motivated me differently. So yeah.
What about, you said he's very, very, very intense, but a lot of people don't know he's got a really good sense of humor too. Can you talk about that for a second?
100%. You know, he's a super jokester. You know, he's just intense when he's in that setting, when he's in the kitchen and it's his standard. But, you know, he'll come in the kitchen, he'll be the first one to pat you on the back, make a joke about, you know, what are you doing, or he'll look me in the face and tell me I don't look tired enough, that I'm probably not, you know, busting my chops. You know, he's definitely a funny guy.
How would you describe yourself as a cook in the kitchen?
Me as a cook?
Yeah.
How would I describe myself? Geez, it's a tough question. How would I describe myself as a cook? I guess persistent. You know, it was one thing I've stuck to. And when there's something I don't have, I work at it till I get it. If there's a recipe I want to get, I work on it till it's perfect. If there's a station that I haven't mastered yet, I want to get on it. I'm feverish to learn more, and that's just kind of how I've always been.
You know, Lem,
yes.
If you go to chefjamesavery.com,
okay,
you'll see a blog. You'll see things to buy, things that are great in the kitchen. Why don't you describe what's happening at chefjamesavery.com, James?
Yeah, so when I started working on my website, doing some blogging, just some things that are on my mind, kind of things that I've learned, you know, over the last decade and a half or so of, you know, being a chef. I talk about, you know, family life, what it's like cooking at home, and, you know, the difference of, you know, how I'm cooking as a professional chef, how I'm cooking for my children. I talk about, you know, tips that the home cook could apply at home that I've learned in a professional kitchen, like going to a restaurant supply store to pick up some stuff.
Yeah.
You don't overspend stuff on stuff at Sur Table or Williams, you know, those big expensive stores. There's some really great things there. Some great pointers you can find on my website.
Nice. And I have to ask you something that has nothing to do with food or nothing to do with Hell's Kitchen. Are you a fan of Quentin Tarantino's Kill Bill Volume 1 and Kill Bill Volume 2?
I am a fan of Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2.
Well,
and Quentin Tarantino, period.
The Hato Hansori swords. I know you're big into cutlery, and tell me about your love with knives and what you do and how it all comes together.
So, you know, chefs, we're obsessed with knives. It's just what we are. And over the years, you know, the better you get, the more knives you buy, the more tools and toys you want. And recently I've become pretty obsessed with Japanese style knives.
Yeah.
There's a couple of great knife stores out there, but there's a really great one in LA called Yoshihiro, and I get most of my knives from there. They're just really great. The owner, Bruce, he's from Japan. He goes over there. He knows the knife maker. He brings them back. He's got a beautiful studio. Just really well-crafted knives, razor sharp. They really let you execute on a high level. They're just awesome tools.
On a more crude note, dull knife, dull chef, right?
Dull knife, dull chef. But then again, I had a chef who once told me, you can buy the knife, you can't buy the skill. Well, there's some truth to that, but
All right.
You need the right tools for the right job.
Well, ChefJamesAvery.com. Also, OurHeirloomKitchen.com. For $85, you are going to learn how to cook with Chef James Avery. This is a perfect first date. I'm sure, Chef James, you're a great wingman, and there's going to be a party, a taco party, and then maybe even tequila. Who knows, right?
That's right. We'll see. We get crazy.
Well, listen, as this season of Hell's Kitchen heats up, and it will heat up. In fact, people are going to get burned and thrown on a meat hook. Will you come back on our Hell's Kitchen after show, buddy?
100%, guys.
Awesome.
Wow.
Awesome.
100%.
Well, again, thank you so much, and we really appreciate your insights, and it was really cool having you on the show, James. Thank you so much.
Thanks, James.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right,
Talk to you
ChefJamesAvery.com. Go there to learn more. But we're not stopping there. What's been happening on TV, Lem? I've been checking out Chasing Maria Menounos.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, it's a really good reality show because I identify it. I have a longtime girlfriend.
Okay.
And over 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Maria and Kevin, 15 years, and the whole families are going, you gotta get married, kids.
Yeah.
And it's just a perfect soundboard. I'm just glad it's on somebody else.
Right.
So if you want to check out Chasing Maria Menounos, it's hashtag Chasing Maria Menounos, I believe.
Hashtag Chasing Maria.
Hashtag Chasing Maria.
Yeah.
Very, very, very cool show. Tuesdays, 10, 9 Central on Oxygen.
Yes.
Make sure you check that out.
Please do.
And coming up on the show, I guess Chef Michael Gabriel is going to be calling in. I have his number here, producer Steve. If you want to, we want to give him a shout. His number is right there on the top. Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas.
Yeah. So let's get back. Let's get back into this thing.
Yes.
So it's great to have another chef calling in.
Yes.
So and if I may, next week.
Yes.
Chef Bev is going to be in studio.
Oh, shoot.
And she's not just coming in studio, Lem.
Uh-huh.
She's bringing carne asada tacos for 10.
No.
For 10.
No. Are you serious?
I'm so serious.
What? Stop it.
That's
Stop
my ransom. That's our fee. That's our commission.
That's awesome. I love you, man. All I got to say is I love this dude right over here. Yes.
All right. So let's keep talking about the episode. Okay. The prep. When you work with a mandolin is an angled slicer. Mm-hmm. You always have to have.
Do you have her on the...
Yeah, you always have to have that protector. And with those 60, 70 cameras in Hell's Kitchen, I saw DeMarco working like a piece of garlic on the mandolin. Mm-hmm. What happened? Did about 10 seconds before it happened?
Exactly.
What happened?
You said he's going to slice his finger, and sure enough, bam, slices his finger.
And it's just, it makes me nauseous.
Yes.
And it's almost a little cruel and unusual that the producers of Hell Kitchen are going to go, hey, can you have DeMarco use some safety equipment? They go, oh, no, focus in on the mandolin.
Exactly.
We want to see the cut.
Exactly.
God.
It's hideous.
Yeah.
But it happens I feel like every single season, somebody chops their finger on that device.
It's a clean cut.
Yeah.
It's so sensitive on the fingertip.
Yeah.
Can you imagine losing the top of your fingertip?
I can't. And I don't want to.
And then what's from Rochelle from Riverside, California, about an hour outside of Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. I know what happened to her. She went to Marina del Rey. She was with the girls. They won the yacht.
Right.
With Jean-Philippe.
Right.
They were drinking champagne. And even though it's sunny in Marina del Rey, it's got to be, mid 50s on the water. Mm-hmm. So that's exactly where she came down with that flu.
So you think that's what happened?
I know. I mean, I've been out there,
yeah.
and that's exactly how it happens. So the workplace. If my good friend Lem Gonsalves was hacking up a storm in the AfterBuzz TV studios, not only is it off-putting,
right?
I don't want to catch it.
Right.
Nobody else wants to catch it.
Exactly.
What if you're working with food?
Well, I mean, I think the thing is, you're sick, you're in this environment, but you know that you don't want to give up. Just like, James Avery was saying, you don't want to give up. And I think these people know the opportunity is there for them. And even though they're not feeling well, they still want to press forward, even though it's even to the point of unsanitary.
I mean,
Yeah.
and everyone's just turning around and giving her the
Right.
stink eye,
Right.
so
Right.
I don't know. I don't know if it's grounds for termination, but I mean, when they were on that boat, it was like, Pirates of the Cuisine.
Leo, we have him ready to be patched through.
All right. Well, listen, on the phone right now,
Yeah,
we
I'm
have Chef Michael Gabriel. He is one of the final 17. He's in the final 17.
Yeah.
And he's got a viewing party that's happening in Houston, Texas, at Lady D's House of Soul Food. Oh, I could bet it's so amazing. Chef, are you there?
I'm here. How you guys doing?
All right, man. All right.
Say hi to Lem Gonsalves.
I'm sorry?
Can you say hi to Lem? That's the other voice that you hear. I'm Leo.
What's going on, Lem?
What's
How
up?
you doing, Leo, man? I'm thankful, man, that you guys are having me on the show tonight, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate having you, man. We really appreciate you taking the time.
Anytime, man. Anytime.
Tell me about Lady D's House of Soul Food restaurant. How was the viewing party?
Man, we had a viewing party tonight, man. And, what everybody, during the viewing party, we all put out, during the tweets and hashtags, somebody's going to the hospital. So everybody's expecting all of this craziness, so they come out for the soul food at Lady D's to come out to support, the local chefs in the area, local alumni from the culinary school that no trip that I went through.
Nice. And, let's talk about, there was about 600 pounds of flesh bouncing around the dorms in tonight's episode. It was foodie fisticuffs. And it came pretty, take us back to that moment.
And you know when you dream about sheep, you count before you go to sleep. Man, we were waking up to the bacon, and they were still moving.
Oh, okay, wait, we're backing up now. Okay, so you got woken up by pigs.
We got woken up by Babe and all of the cousins, man. Pigs were everywhere.
All right, so again, how was that challenge for you? I mean, it was kind of a heartbreak for the men because I thought the men won. I thought the blue team was in it, and then you had to go in for the second part, and then you got your potatoes au gratin handed to you, buddy.
Man, when we went into it, I was for sure, I was ready to kill a pig. I was ready to slaughter a pig. I'm about to open up a food truck, a Chamorro food truck. It's all island food, and it's going to be pigs roasted whole on the truck. So I was ready to roast some pig, man.
Well, how about your quote from tonight? I'm thinking slaughter. I thought I was straight up killing food today.
I thought I was killing it. That was my main focus when I was in culinary school. I wanted to work on breaking down proteins. I'm fascinated by it, and I love breaking down animals from the start product all the way to a finished product.
Oh, wow.
Well, let's talk about two broken down animals from last week's episode. Somehow, the Hell's Kitchen fans, this is the #1 Hell's Kitchen fan, and you know what? The downloads on iTunes are incredible. Listen, Chef, we do have to take the good with the bad. So in the last dinner service, basically 2 rounds back-to-back of raw chicken. Take us back to that moment in Hell's Kitchen with Gordon on your ass.
A lot of people would probably talk down, why the beep, beep, would you serve raw chicken? But when you put yourself in that position, it's no excuse for what I did. I shouldn't have done it. But, you have to find your footing. It's a matter of how fast you're going to find it. And serving raw chicken is just unacceptable. But, after the first one, we just didn't connect as a team. And, it was just, it was nothing that I can do. And I don't think I bounced back from it. But I made sure to get out of the way in tonight's episode.
For sure.
What's it like having Gordon climb up your ass and then explode?
It's like, the lobster, right before it knows that it's going into the pot, it cries just a little bit. It probably pisses on itself right into the pot, and then it hits the water, and it's like, damn, Chef Ramsay right there. Damn.
How many times has he yelled at you?
Oh, man, you know, that chicken hit me in my face, man. They didn't show that part.
What happened?
I think that chicken hit me in my face.
Oh, when he threw the chicken.
Yeah, when he slammed it on the table, man, it
Oh,
probably
right.
hit me. I don't remember.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I was ducking from the chicken, huh?
Oh, my gosh.
Ducking chicken going on up in Hell's Kitchen, man.
Wow.
And did I see you in San Francisco cruising around on a Segway?
Oh, yeah, you know you saw it. You see the Scots? I know you see the Silvers, man. Come on, that's island style forever right there.
How was the epic roast house, brother?
Oh, my God, the crab cakes. The crab cake. It was like they jumped right into the bay and pulled the crab right out from the water and served them to us on a plate.
Wow. I got a question. I want to jump over to this episode, and it was right after you guys had come and you had to fix your dishes that had to highlight potatoes. And I noticed that your dish wasn't one of the ones that was nominated. And I'm just curious, when you guys are deliberating, did you personally fight for your dish to be nominated, or were you kind of thinking those other 5 that were better than yours?
No, it was nothing like that. You know, as you can see, as you can see, you know, the situation at hand. But I just think that what it was we were trying to work as a team and pick them as a team. You know, we wanted to work and do the picking as a team. You know, we didn't want it to be an individual thing. You
Gotcha.
know?
Okay.
When you are in the dorms and they're showing shots of you praying bedside, what are some of the things you're asking, or what kind of guidance are you looking for?
Well, you know, God is really, you know, a big part of my life. You know, I mean, he the only reason I'm here is because of him. You know, and everything goes to him. And you know, I have to make sure that I show thanks to him, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have been kneeling down by the side of that bed in the first place.
Amen.
Wow,
Amen.
That's really nice to hear. What's your strategy inside Hell's Kitchen, Chef Gabriel?
You know, right now it's just I have to find my footing. You know, I have to find my place in the kitchen. I'm being put right into the fire. I'm the lobster that doesn't want to go in the water. I want everybody else to go in before me. You know, so I want to make sure that if I'm deciding to go ahead and go in that route, and I want to be focused. I want to, you know, get out of this scallops and get out of the chicken. Like, I'm making the mistakes early so that way I could hopefully conquer in the end.
Tell us about the Hell's Kitchen Confessional, where all the chefs go to vent into a small room by themselves with just a camera. What is that experience? And tell me about some of your confessional moments.
You know, on the other side in the confession, it's almost, you ever see the movie not the movie, the show Scared Straight? You know, they're on the other side of the glass.
Yeah.
That's what it kind of felt like a little bit. You know, it's like Scared Straight for chefs. That's basically what the show is like.
Hell's Kitchen is scared straight
you
for
talk
chefs.
right on the other side of the glass. Hey, you know, let me give you all of my confessions. This is what happened. I messed up on the chicken. I messed up on the chicken. It is what it is. I made the mistake. It won't happen again. I can't let it happen again.
So is it during service, or the way it's edited together masterfully? It looks like the second something happens, you're in the confessional. What is? Take us behind the scenes and how they make it work in Hell's Kitchen.
Well, you know, I don't know if I'm going to say that one. I'm not for sure on that one, so I'm going to have to pass on that question.
Take the fifth.
But you are talking with one of the producers, and then they're trying to, you know, find out what's going on with you and seeing what's going on with your story per se, though. And do you think the confessional helped you or hurt you?
Well, I think that they help with the guidance of, you know, like, okay, what exactly are we trying to focus on? You know, right now, this is what's going on, and right now, hey, look, this is what you need to be doing. This is what you should be doing instead of doing what you're doing, you know, and you already know who I'm talking about. I shouldn't have to name names.
All right. Any predictions you'd like to make for the upcoming season?
All I'm going to say is the upcoming season or the upcoming of the show. I'm
Anything that you can tell us inside what to expect on season 12 of Hell's Kitchen is what we're looking for.
Well, all right then. So, well, basically, what you should expect is, you ready for this?
I'm
Are you
trying.
ready for this?
Yeah.
Ready.
You're gonna have to keep watching to find out. I can't tell you.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I
As
want
much as I would love to,
Right.
I would come on every week and talk about the show if you'd have me.
Exactly, and we appreciate it. I just want to take you back real quick back into the episode, and when you guys are deliberating, Chef Ramsay tells you to pick 3 guys, and he tells the red team to pick 3 girls. But you're back there deliberating, and it always gets heated because no one wants to get put up or anything like that. And you guys are kind of picking names or whatever, and then all of a sudden someone mentions your name, and you kind of jumped up and you kind of got a little angry. Can you tell me what you're feeling at that moment?
Well, I mean, I was kind of pissed off. I didn't have a problem in the
Kinda.
service. There was nothing wrong,
Right.
I felt like, the heat wasn't on me. I felt like, I had my services that were causing problems, and they were dead and gone. It was over with already. So why the hell am I even on the chopping block?
Right.
I was doing some research about you, and you said something to the effect of, and tell me if I'm wrong here. Sometimes I get my facts wrong. I just want to make sure I got you right. I'm used to having pots and pans being thrown at me. So tell me about some of those early experiences in a heated kitchen.
Well, I've worked under a lot of European chefs during my culinary experience through school. And that didn't happen during school, but, with them during school, I really got that experience as if I was in France, and they really focus in on really being passionate about what they do, the same as Chef Ramsay does. So the yelling wasn't the problem. The reason I'm pissed off or if something's going wrong is because I should have did something better or it was my fault. It wasn't, my team's fault. It wasn't Chef Ramsay's fault. It was something that I did that I should have corrected, and then it was just a mistake that was learned.
All right, let's talk about food in Texas. What's your specialty?
Man, right now, I am opening up a Chamorro food truck. It's island food. It's a mix between like Spanish and Filipino. It's right it's right next to Guam. It's called Saipan. And the food is we're gonna roast whole pigs. We're going to have, a soy sauce-based dipping sauce. It's called finadini. It has different chilies and ginger and sesame, like all kinds of different Asian spices. It's going to have so many different roasted chicken, grilled chicken, fried rice, all kinds of good island food.
You can drive that by the AfterBuzz Studios anytime you want, Chef.
Most definitely.
You know what? I might have to get the truck shipped out there. We might have to do an event right out front of the doors.
We would love to have you. I actually have one last question for you, Chef Gabriel. I noticed that the blue team, they go by Azul, and you guys chant it. And I know it kind of came on early on. Can you just tell me how you guys determined that you were going to say Azul, which is, of course, the Spanish term for blue?
I think that came about Chef Jason came up with that. We were we became one as a team, when we did the challenge, when we had to ride the little tricycles.
Oh, okay.
We became a team, and I think Jason came up with that, and we just ran with it.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
All right. Well, listen, tell us about your Facebook page, which it's exploding right now.
Oh, it is taking off so fast. The social media for Team Gabriel, is just taking off. We got the fan page of Chef Michael Gabriel.
One more time.
I'm sorry?
Give it to me one more time, nice and slow.
Okay, it's going to be the fan page for Facebook is Chef Michael Gabriel.
Right on. Well, listen, I know it's late and you had a great viewing party. You live to fight another day, Chef. You are now one of the 17 chefs that are competing. And do me a favor, will you? Make sure that you tell your followers that you can check us out on iTunes. You can download us on iTunes for free. Leave a comment. We appreciate it. And it's exploding all over the world. The UK, Australia, Japan, France. I'm telling you, this Hell's Kitchen, you know how global it is, right?
Oh, it's, I've gotten comments from friends that I've worked with here saying that they're actually watching in China. And then a chef that I know is actually watching in Australia. So, I mean, it's so crazy because the level has just changed. I mean, everything has gone to another level with this show, and I plan on doing just that, you know. With BTG 670, that's the name of my food truck. I plan on giving this experience back to everybody else and to make sure that everybody can experience this whole entire Hell's Kitchen experience with me.
Do you have a Gordon Ramsay impersonation in you?
Hey, you know, I don't know about the words on the show, but I'm just going to finish with F off.
All right, Chef Michael Gabriel on Facebook. Man, thank you so much for being on Hell's Kitchen After Show.
Man, thank you so much for having me. You guys are the best, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Just a really nice guy. We wish you all the best and good luck, and get the black jacket, huh?
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Thank you so very much. How about that?
That was awesome.
We see. If you want the look, Lem and I are telling you, if you want the insight to Hell's exclusive,
yes.
I mean, where else are you going to get that?
Nowhere. that's where. Nowhere.
All right. Well, you know what? Let's get to, I want to talk about dinner service just a little bit. So if we can, let's get into that mood music and get into service just for a few minutes here.
Yeah.
That would be amazing because, that's for me, that's my favorite part of the show. Dinner service.
Dinner service.
Yeah, absolutely. So, it got crazy.
It did.
As
always.
It just seemed to me that, and again, I got to go back to the first after show episode of you, Lem, saying Simone is going to own the crazy card in this season.
Right.
I'm just going to take your lead on this.
Let's say, I mean, it
how
starts
do you break
off.
it down?
Well, I think it starts off in prep. She's You had the one that wasn't feeling well, Rochelle, right? She was getting sick. Legitimately, you gave a great impression of her. That's awesome. So she's getting sick, and they feel for her. So she goes off. She gets some attention or whatever, and then all of a sudden you have crazy Lady Simone. Oh, I'm not feeling well. She's starting to even talk differently, and it starts in this weird way, and then everybody just knows automatically that she's faking it,
and it's kind of like almost a fetal thing.
Right.
I feel strange.
Right.
I feel like it's the Twilight Zone.
Right. And she looked like the Twilight Zone. You could just see in her face, and it almost was like a cop-out type situation. And they all knew it. I mean, you can tell when somebody's legitimately sick, and you can tell when somebody's faking it. And they knew she was faking it.
And Chef Andy was in the middle of both the crazies.
Exactly.
Well, I guess you can't call Rochelle crazy.
Yeah, she just was sick.
She was just sick, but she heard the hacking, and she just turns around like, what the hell's going on in here?
Yeah.
And then we had the craziness going on in service with Chris and Mike and the fish station fail.
Right.
Again, it's these guys at this point, actually it's 18 chefs compete. We're still kind of figuring out who can cook and who can't.
Right.
It was just frustrating to see all that.
It was
really, really bad. And then also not having a good time was, by the way, Joy, who got 5 for 5 on her potato dish.
Yes.
And then
which I called.
Yeah.
Yes.
You did. You absolutely did.
Yes.
So they were having their own troubles. They had deep fried scallops, which you don't do. You just put a little oil. You don't.
You're right.
And then they had raw scallops in with cooked scallops.
Right.
And then they had raw salmon. So I can see where it was going, but I had no idea. I mean, can we get to the Meathook ceremony here? Let's really get to the crux of what's going on. Let's play the Meathook ceremony here. All right. It's definitely different.
Is it not? It's not playing for some reason.
Okay. It's definitely a different one. So the chefs walk in, and you and I are expecting, and everyone watching is expecting 4.
Right. Which is normal.
2 blue, 2
Exactly.
red.
Yeah.
Gordon stops them in the kitchen. Don't even deliberate.
Don't even. He didn't even let him go in there.
Yeah.
He comes to the dorms.
Yeah. He's like, you pick 3 from each team. Okay. Piss off. That's my favorite. Piss off.
Right. Love that.
So they come back, and here are the nominees. The blue team, DeMarco. Now, DeMarco I can see how timid he was holding a knife because of the cut finger.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Michael Aresta from New Jersey, and then Chris Eversole from Las Vegas.
Right.
Those were the 3 men. Then you had Simone, Rochelle from Riverside, California, and Sandra.
Right.
The girl who probably has a shiv on her 24/7 from New York.
Right. Right.
Would you mess with her?
No, I would not. No, I would not.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
No, ma'am.
exactly. She started early. She had beef early because it was the three. There was the fight that happened. I think it was the first episode when she was against two of the other chefs. One that got eliminated last night or last episode. So she's just she doesn't play, and I don't think anyone likes her.
Well, here's the thing, Lem. I think she's great at execution, or I think she's adequate up to now at executing her dishes.
Right.
But it's that attitude. It's cancerous.
Right.
You know, if you're going to be in that confined area with chefs and Gordon Ramsay looking over your shoulder, it needs to be as harmonious as possible.
Well, just like Chef Gabriel was saying, you know, the thing that with them and how they even came up with their name is they felt that they gelled together. They came together as one, where it seems like the red team isn't doing that. And the problem is people like her that are making it, like you said, cancerous to where, you know, don't mess with me. I'm out for myself. And there's no team environment whatsoever.
So Gordon kicks out the blue team first and then followed by the red team. Did we even have a winning team? I don't think we had a winning.
No, not at all. They both got kicked out.
There was not a winning team.
No.
Okay. So so then we get to the Meathook.
Right.
Who's
Oh, yeah. There it goes. There it goes.
Lem.
Yes.
Why do you think you should stay in Hell's Kitchen?
Leo, why should you stay on AfterBuzz TV?
It's okay, Chef. I'll go.
Oh, my God. My gosh.
Never in the history of Hell's Kitchen have I ever seen that.
I mean, it was like, and I mean, honestly, based on his reaction, I don't even know if he was going to even eliminate her because it seemed like he threw him off.
He
Like
he just holds his head.
like what? But it is customary about her whole transition because she basically, and everybody was saying that she gave up. You know, the faking the sickness and then
We
just
need
the
an
lackluster
exorcist or a medic.
Right. I think I wrote that down too. Either an exorcist or a medic. Yeah, because she just went to La La Land. She was done internally.
Yeah.
You know, and of course, as Chef Gabriel was saying, and even Chef Avery was saying, it's a high pressure environment. You know, it's tough, of course, as we can see. So she just couldn't handle it. If you don't have that mental tough, it's beyond just being able to cook. You have to be mentally tough to deal with what's going on and to deal with, you know, Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah.
He's not a joke.
Simone, I know you have a bright future as a consultant for stare-out contests. I mean, but as far as in the kitchen, Lem,
Right.
I don't know what's going on.
I don't think it's going down.
All right. Well, listen, it was a great episode.
It was.
Okay. So let's say that, you know, next week you and I will be here. We're gonna be here every single time. I mean,
Yes.
we're gonna get to 17 chefs compete.
Yes.
The thing that Lem and I are most proud of is the acceptance on iTunes. Something like 65 countries are clinging on to the Hell's Kitchen After Show.
And speaking of iTunes, I want to just shout out a couple of people. We have Deborah Battle, who made a comment and said she liked both of us.
DB, thank you.
Awesome. And then Kevin Odom, who said finally a Hell's Kitchen podcast.
Yeah.
He's been waiting, and we gave it to him.
Well, I'll tell you. There's an old term. Tell you how the sausage is made.
Right.
We have a big old stock pot cooking
Yes.
with this Hell's Kitchen After Show.
Yes.
I made the earlier announcement. You're going to be seeing Chef Bev. She's going to be here.
Yes.
She's just down the road, an hour away in Whittier, and
Awesome.
we're going to have a taco party here. Tacos for 10, Producer Steven. I didn't say tacos for 2. Tacos for 10.
It's going down.
Yeah, but I'm like 10 people. You know, y'all know me.
We know how you get down. We know how you get down.
I mean,
I know
come
what
on,
he's gonna
man.
do.
If he makes good tacos, I'll eat them all. You know.
He's
Yeah.
going to throw down some rule where you and I have to be in here,
Right.
and he's going to be in there crunching
Exactly.
away. Oh, you can't make
Exactly.
crunching noises. You can't eat in the studio.
Right,
We'll come out to
right.
just ravage
Exactly.
nothing.
A little bit of asada, and that's it. Some guacamole.
Might as well
aside.
shout out your YouTube commenters: Evan Meadow, Joseph Lagundo, and Joseph Boza.
Well,
Awesome.
You know what? Thanks for watching on YouTube. You know what? iTunes, send it to anybody that you know. I know there's Hell's Kitchen blogs out there. I know there's foodie blogs out there.
Yes.
And, Lem and I are making a conscious effort to bring you the guests that matter. This has never been done on any Hell's Kitchen kind of a
Right.
show ever,
Right.
and we're proud to do it. So,
And one more thing, as we say, top 10, we're number 3. You
Yeah.
guys made us number 3, and we appreciate it.
we are absolutely climbing the ladder, and that's a tribute to the foodie fans that are watching this Hell's Kitchen After Show. Lem, where can I find you?
Well, you can find me, Leo, at The Poet Saint, and that's on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all day, every day.
The Poet Saint.
Yes.
Yes. And you can find me on Twitter at Movie Interview. It's 2 words, at Movie Interview. And again, we want to thank the entire AfterBuzz team. And don't forget, Chasing Maria Menounos, Tuesdays, 10, 9
Yes.
Central on Oxygen.
Yes.
Hashtag Chasing Maria. And thank you for all the downloads on iTunes. It's really a thrill to be here. And we'll see you next week for sure. Lem?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'll
All
see
good.
you.
Powers unite.
I guess it's okay to go, Chef.
Yeah.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.